I didn't expect Chris for Rangers on Tour to pile on with the whole you're late thing. I expect more for you, Chris. Right? I expect more for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your afternoon rabble here on the Rangers Rabble Network, the Rangers Rabble Podcast, and also part of the Talk Sport Fan Network. Before we get into today's show, there is some exciting news coming. It's not been confirmed yet, so I'm not going to announce it. I'm just going to caveat that. Throw a wee caveat out there. No, caveat's not even the right word. A wee tempter out there to say that we've got some exciting news coming with regards to the podcast. As you know, just about this time last year, we went full time. So that's been a full year that the podcast has been full time. And we are looking to grow and continue to grow. That's why the memberships are so important. That's why people tuning in to watch on YouTube and leaving likes and subscribing is so important. And we're looking to take that next step. And hopefully within the next few weeks, I've got a nice wee announcement for everybody. And a massive thank you to everybody for all their support and for all the guys involved with the pod as well. So hopefully that's coming soon. I'm joined today by Alan. Alan, I almost forgot what you look like.
I didn't, sadly. No, it's good to be back. I hope everybody's well. How are you doing, mate?
I'm okay. I'm still a bit sore from my football training, but I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there. Might get you involved with the team. Who knows? That's me assuming that you would meet the criteria and all that, Alan. You know?
The waist size thing you were saying, I don't know, Martin. I'm slimming down a wee bit, mate. I've been good this week.
Good this week.
We'll speak once we're done.
Yes. Are we getting freebies? Not yet, guys. Not yet. Because even though we're full time, we still need more members. We still need more people to watch on YouTube. We're still trying to grow. And then maybe we'll throw out some freebies once the time's right. No, I mean, I shouldn't have said anything. Because now people are just guessing. And I don't want to, that way where you kind of tease some news, and then when people hear the news, they've guessed that many different things, and it's a pure letdown. That's what I'm worried about now. But look, let's dive into it. There's only really one place to start. There's only really one conversation. David Ornstein has reported that Rangers have had a bid rejected. Alan, I'm going to just say the last name, Saki, right? Because I'm no good with names. Right? I'm really no good with names. What's more interesting about this than other transfers, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, is the value of the player that we're looking at. Now, I said about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, in fact, I probably say that every day, when me and David last night were talking about Owen Beck, and I says I don't see us spending £7 million on a left back. I could maybe see us spending between 5 and 7, maybe 8 at maximum on an attacker, maybe. But this boy's valued at 10 million, Alan. And by all accounts, there's no smoke without fire, and there's real truth in this.
You think there is real truth? I don't know. To be honest, Martin, I've never heard of the boy. I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you anything about him. My bugbear, another player for down south. It's like I've said to my pals, I wish Rangers would open up a map and see there's a big wide world out there for other type of players. But £10 million seems a bit steep. I've heard rumours that it's going to be a loan and all that type of stuff.
The offer was a loan with a potential obligation to buy. Other reports coming out that there was no obligation to buy in there, but from what we do know is the bid has been rejected. But I think more than anything, Alan, I think it's exciting, regardless of what we know or don't know about said player. When we've been in the kind of position that we've been in over the last few years, to be linked with a player whose value is at least 10 million, I think it at least shows the direction the club's going in.
Yeah, I mean, £10 million is a lot of money. I mean, let's put it out there. We've not spent that type, at least even close to that type of money since Danilo. So, and I mean, obviously that's more than what Danilo. I was going to say more than what Danilo was worth, but I don't know. Honestly, I've not seen any YouTube clips. People probably know more about the boy than I do. But what is he, a right winger? Is he a right winger? Because that's obviously something that we do need, because obviously we can't have Kieran Dowell. I was going to say you can't have Kieran Dowell playing the right wing, but for me personally, you can't have Kieran Dowell on a Rangers trip. Again, you know what I mean? He's just no cut. He's no cut out for it. But I suppose this time of the season we'll be linked to everybody, don't we? That's just what's going to happen. But I don't know. It seems a bit strange. If it's valued at 10 million, but we're going to go for a loan, I wouldn't imagine Crystal Palace would loan out one of their top players if he's valued at £10 million. I wouldn't think they would loan him out. If they are going to loan him out, then I would assume it would need to be an option to buy or something. Something they'd set in stone at the end of the year's loan or whatever that we'd need to buy him for a certain amount of money. So that's the only thing I can think about it. If it is a loan, that's the options. But if we turn around and spend £10 million on a player, I mean, let's face it, when we spent that amount of money on Danilo, we all thought we were getting a great player for £6 million. But I just don't know. As I said, I've not seen him. I've not seen anything about him. I don't know if anybody in the comments has seen the boy playing and see what he's about. But we do need a right winger, that's for sure.
Well, Rangers on tour, I work with a lad who's a Sheffield United fan, and he said the lad is class. He's not a fan of the rough and tumble, but is electric and creates loads of chances. Now, we heard from the Sheffield Wednesday fans after we signed Gassama, and they were, I mean, Gassama would have probably been up there at that sort of £10 million value if obviously Sheffield Wednesday weren't in the issues that they're in. And I think you go by what, not all the time, because I think sometimes supporters can be at it, but when a vast majority of supporters come out and say the same thing about a player, I think you need to take that on board now. Yeah,
I mean, that's probably the best gauge you can get for a player, into the supporters. I mean, we're going to, if somebody turns around and says, "Oh, we want Kieran Dowell or we want Ben Davies or whatever," we would be obviously brutally honest with them and say, "Well, they're crap, they're not good enough." So
no, but like that, world beaters, mate, world beaters.
I know,
awesome.
But that's just I know football fans are. We're honest though. That's the whole point. And I think if you're a true fan about your club, you are honest about these players. So if anybody asked us about them, we'd say, "Well, he's no good." But if somebody asked us about Raskin or whatever, but world-class player, and brilliant. So if the fans are turning around and saying he's a good player, you got to take their word for it. Fans are never wrong. Fans are never wrong.
Does it worry you slightly about that type of money being spent? And look, I ask that because we spent 12 million on Flo, and I think Flo gets a rough deal. Flo scored a barrel. Flo scored a lot of goals for us, right?
Yep.
But we play in a league and we operate at a level where if we spend £6 million, I mean, we spent, 7 million on Kent, 6 million on Danilo. That's big money for us, regardless of how rich our owners are. We play in a league and we have an income stream that doesn't allow us to go and spend even the likes of money that, like, say, a Bournemouth. And how small a club are Bournemouth? We can't compete with Bournemouth financially, right? And that's where we are in Scotland. Does it worry you at all that we are now looking at players at values of between 8, 10, 12 million?
No. I mean, obviously, if the club can afford it, they're going to do it, isn't it? I mean, if they can't afford £10 million, they're not going to spend £10 million on a player. For me personally, it doesn't matter if somebody's worth 10 million or 1 million, because as we've seen before, you could buy somebody at 10 million and they just can't cut it. You can bring somebody in at 1 million and they can be brilliant. So we do, I know for fans, we do have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's high hopes when you sign somebody for £10 million, or you spend a lot of money on a player just because they're a high value player. It doesn't mean anything that they're actually going to adapt to be a good Rangers player. You know what I mean? It's just one of these things. You don't actually know. They could be the best player down south or wherever, and they can come into our team. They just can't cut it. I mean, as we've seen it before, some players just can't wear the Rangers jersey. They can't have that crowd on European nights. Maybe when things aren't going well as well, they just shrink. They can't have it. So, value for money is a bit different nowadays with players, isn't it? They're chucking hundreds of £1 million on mediocre players down south as well.
Yeah.
And that's the hard bit. And they're obviously chucking all that money at them in wages and things as well. I mean, mediocre players back 20 years ago, I would say, wouldn't even be worth £1 million, but they're getting paid for like £50 million and things like that. So,
God, Alan, I remember was it Zidane went to Juventus, and I
That's right.
think Juventus paid, and I'm sure they paid like 28, 29, 30 million or something
Yeah.
for Zidane. And I can
And he got
remember at the
gobsmacked.
time, everybody was going mental. How can you spend that amount of money on a player? I know it was quite a long time ago now, but it just shows you where football's got to, where the
Yeah.
likes of a Zidane was 30 million.
Yeah, and compare Zidane to players now that are, you know what I mean, players that you haven't even heard of, even young boys that are coming for teams for Europe and they're signing for like Man City and things like that. They're getting signed for stupid amount of money, like 10, 15 million pound. They're not even proven. So football's just daft. It's just went crazy, and that's part of the thing I don't like about the game now. It's just money's absolutely ruined football, especially for teams like us, because look at the amount of players we've lost out on. And their players aren't coming to Rangers, are going down south to make more money. But no, it's crap.
Wolf had just reached
Isn't
pension age when Zidane moved to Juve.
that was a while ago.
I tell you
No.
what, Alan, you've been away for about a month and a half, and you're still getting the vegan part. And I know that really annoys you.
Do you know what? See with bullies, you just got to ignore them. That's what it is.
Charles is a
Social
bully.
media bullying.
We all know. Yeah,
I know.
Charles is
I'm
the
not
biggest bully out there.
Listen, your managers are vegan. Your managers are vegan, and we just want 2-0. So they can't all be bad. But no, I'm not going to support vegans. Sorry if there is any vegans out there watching, but everybody knows I'm not a vegan. But no, I don't agree with your lifestyle.
No, my stepson's a vegan.
Can't have
I
it.
know,
I know.
and
I know because you keep
tell
on saying it every time I'm on the pod. Somebody calls me a vegan, and you say my stepson's a vegan, as if
my
we don't all
stepson's a
know.
vegan, and I
No,
don't
no,
understand him. I don't know how
we
people
can't.
can live
I
like
can't.
that.
I can't. I mean, it's good for their dedication to life, because it's not just a simple case you can nip down to Asda and start buying and shopping. But no, I couldn't do it for me personally. I couldn't. I just couldn't have the.
You
I love
can't
my
beat a
dairy.
big juicy T-bone steak, man.
No, can't do it. Can't do
Super
it.
chat from channel member Cami, long-standing channel member, by the way, massive supporter of the channel and a big help to me over the years as well. Thank you, Cami. It's looking more and more like we can operate in a higher transfer market tier. Yes, we can. Look, the owners have got money. The owners have got, I mean, what is it? What was it Joe Rogan called it? The owners have got fuck you money, pardon my French, at 1:15, right? But that doesn't mean that we can just go out and spend willy-nilly, because we still have to operate as a business.
Yeah. You can't. You can't just go and chop money. It's not going to work. But see, we're actually saying that about we're going for higher valued valued players. Right, so we're talking about £10 million. Could we not actually spend that £10 million and put it towards Tierney? Is that not more logical? I mean, I don't know if Wolfsburg would accept £10 million for Tierney, or maybe his wages are going to come in on top of that. But
It'd be wages.
I know, but then I mean, it depends where he's going to go, and also he's number 18. His squad numbers, I don't think anybody's got that yet. So part of me's thinking, maybe they're keeping that 18 for Tierney. I don't know. I could just be looking too far into it. But for me, do you want to spend £10 million on a boy that you know might come up here and might not cut it, or do you want to spend £10 million and you know that Tierney's he's adapted to Scottish football? I know AJ's saying that Tierney isn't that great, but he's going to be playing in a totally different system now, and he's going to have probably better caliber of players about him as well. So I don't know. For me, if you're spending £10 million, maybe you keep it as a safer bet than somebody you don't actually know.
Who is this willy-nilly, and what position does he play? Wolf, you're in no position, Wolf, to correct anybody, right? On sayings, absolutely not. 10 million on Lennon Miller in a heartbeat. Me, I said.
Aye. Do you know what? I would. I know obviously we're looking for a right winger for it, but I really don't see. See if we get a lot of money and we can't afford to spend £10 million, just give them it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You don't even know how much. Is anybody actually turned around and actually offered Motherwell an actual proper bid for Lennon Miller? Because we're hearing all these figures. Oh, they won't accept that. They won't accept that. As far as I'm aware, nobody's actually went into Motherwell and gave a concrete bid, and they'll say, right, that's the money we'll take, or that's the money that we won't take. But I don't know. Our midfield's only been packed.
As far as I'm aware, he's in the last year of his contract as well. But Alan, I was talking to Willie Irwin this morning, and he made a good point, and I don't like to give Willie Irwin credit, right? But I'm going to give him credit. he said if we're looking at a player like that, then that says to him that Rangers are pretty sure that somebody's leaving, and by somebody leaving, he means for good money. So if that means an Igaman, if that means, and I hope not, but if that means a Raskin or a Diamande, if we're looking to spend that kind of money on a player, then he's pretty confident that Rangers must know that somebody is leaving.
Well, it's one of the worst kept secrets, Martin, isn't it, that somebody's actually going to leave this season. We've heard all the rumours. It's
no, by that I mean somebody for money. I don't mean like say a Dowell or a Davies or a Matondo.
Yeah, a big name, money. A big name. I mean, it seems to be probably the only one that I would really see you're going to get big money for, and he probably would leave, would be Igaman. I can't. For me personally, I've heard rumours about Cherney, about Raskin's been offered another contract. I would hope that if we have, I think he probably would stay. In my personal opinion, I don't think we should be selling Raskin. I think no matter what, we should be keeping hold of him. If we're going about spending £10 million on it, if we're thinking about spending £10 million on a player, then I think we should be keeping Raskin. I think we do. But that price bracket, you've maybe not got a lot of people who can actually go that high. Obviously, we're not going to that type of money for Dessers. They're talking about what, £10-15 million for Diamande. I don't know, but obviously £25 million they're talking about for Igaman and all this money for Raskin. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they just turn around and say, do you know what? We'll just spend the £10 million if we don't sell anybody for big money. That's just the way it'll go. I mean, if we qualify for the Champions League, that's money just automatically straight in the bank, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes, but we also not moving from like selling people for big money. We need to trim the squad. Alan, I mentioned this on the Morning Rabble this morning. We've got, I think it was counted up 34, 35 first team players. Regardless of how much you sell them for or whatever, we have to start trimming this squad out.
Yeah, I know. It is. I mean, we're into what, 24th of July now. You would have really thought at least a couple would have been put out. You know what I mean? Last year was all right. Well, last year wasn't all right considering the fact is we got rid of a good couple of people, but it was their contract had run out. But you can only get rid of people, Martin, that actually people are willing to actually buy. You know what I mean? It's like, do you just? I mean, the whole proper thing. I mean, it seems like 20 actually want them, but if we're paying proper what 10 grand a week or whatever, and 20 are only going to offer him 5. You as a football player, you're like, well, it's a lot of money. He's nearing the end of his contract. He's nearing the end of his playing days as well. So it's like, would you want to move for lesser money? I mean, at the end of the day, if he wants to play football, that's a question that he needs to ask himself, because he could just sit there and not do anything. But I don't know. For me, I know it is a wee bit scary. There is a lot of deadwood in that squad. There really is a lot of deadwood, but you're not really hearing a lot of chat now about anybody actually going out. You're hearing a lot of incomings, but you're not hearing a lot of actual stories about the crap that you're trying to get.
Yeah, but in the defence, Rangers now seem to be a club that not much gets out. I know this story's got out today, but that was reported by David Ornstein. That's why I feel there's validity to it. He was the one who broke the story. That's why I think that he's quite a well-respected journalist who kind of knows his stuff and he's got contacts. So I've got a funny feeling that information came from down south.
Yeah,
I don't think that came from Rangers. And I think any deals that Rangers are trying to do for current players, it's not going to be public knowledge until such times as it's either close to being done or it's done, or something comes out from the club who's looking to take one of the players. And Kerr here is saying, agree, Martin, 10 at least need to leave before the end of the window. I mean, 10's a lot, Alan, to try and get rid of. As much as I'm saying, yeah, look, we've got far too many players, 10's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. 10 is a lot. It's a hell of a lot. I mean, that's pretty much nearly a first team squad. You know what I mean? That's a whole first team of players you're almost trying to get rid of there. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You probably know yourself. See, when you're playing a game of football online, you're playing. Well, obviously you play Football Manager, but if I was playing Pro Evo or something, see the players you don't want, I would just get rid of them. I would just free them and just take a hit and get rid of them. You know what I mean? But football's not like that in real life.
No,
but I think under certain I know, but if you look at the cost of things actually paying these guys, I mean, the only other option is to loan them out. And you know for a fact, as I said a couple of weeks ago, these are like boomerang players. You're going to loan them out, they're just going to come straight back to you, and eventually their contracts are going to run out. Nobody's going to buy them. But 10 players actually seeing that in black and white there and text is actually quite scary to think that we need to get 10 players. You know what I mean? It's hard. Honestly, for me personally, I can't actually think. I mean, Ross Clark saying they're never getting 10 out. I mean, we'd probably struggle to get 5 out, to be honest. And there's, I mean,
It all depends. It all depends if people want them. Now, somebody made a good point, and cares in there again. That includes loans out. Yeah, if we struggle to get players out transfer wise, like we did with Matondo last season, if we can even look to players who maybe have got a year, 2 years left on their contracts, if we can get them out on loan this season, the team paying their full wage, that's at least something off the wage bill, and it's a player away from the squad.
Well, I feel that all helps, doesn't it? And if we're going, just say if we're going to loan out Matondo again, everybody's talking about Matondo's in mid 20 grand. If a team is going to cover half of that or whatever, it still gets him off the books. But it's far too much money. That's the whole point of the previous regime. We've just been chucking far too much money at mediocre players. It's like it seems to be like £20,000 was like a starting point for signing a lot of these players. It's like that's the minimum. It's like how much do you want? They're like 20 odd grand. They're like, I will get it. It's far too much money. I mean, if over the course of a whole season, I mean that's a hell of a lot of money that these guys are getting, especially just to sit on the bench. But I don't know who's, as we said earlier on, who's actually willing to take these guys. Nobody's obviously, if we proper, it does seem that 20 want him, but he's digging his heels in. So that's going to maybe be a difficult one. You might find actually before the transfer window closes, teams might be desperate to get players in, and it's going to be at the end of the window. We're just going to loan out a couple of guys just to get rid of them, get them off the books. But then that's not really ideal, is it? But see, at the end of the day, see if they're knowing the manager's plans and he doesn't want to play them, they'll just need to sit there and not get played. There's nothing much we can do about it. It's just the way it is.
And also, so moving away from Saki, £10 million, etc., etc. I don't think it's any secret, Alan, that we're looking out for a left back as well. So we're linked to a player valued at 10 million, and we're also going to have to find a first team left back, not a youngster to bring in who's got potential, because that's Jeffy for me. I still think Jeffy's got potential at our football club. I really do. People disagree. That's fine. I've no issue with that. I think there's potential there if he's coached properly, and he's given a bit like Finlay Curtis this season, given X amount of games and taken out for spells and just coached properly. So we need to bring in a first team left back.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, there's all these rumours about Owen Beck coming, things like that, spending £7 million on him. I think for me personally, spending £7 million on a player, Owen Beck, is a bit high. No offence to the boy, but he's not really done much in his career to actually value us. For us, £7 million. But yeah, I do agree with you. Ridvan's gone. I mean, Ridvan's been leaving every single transfer window pretty much since he signed. Obviously, Aarons has took his squad number 3, so that automatically means that he's gone. There's probably something in the background that he's out of there. For me, I know you like him. I just don't get anything in Jeffy at all. I've said this before. He's good going forward. He's good in that middle area of the pitch, running forward with the ball. I don't think he's really got much an end product. That probably could be worked on. But for me, his defending is horrendous. It just seems to get worse every time you watch him. And for me, when you look at it, if you've got a defender and his main weakness is defending, that's not something you should really be teaching a boy at that age. What is he, 21? He should at least have a bit of decency about him to be a bit better at defending. Or you need just 100% concentrate on defending. Just don't bother going up as much. But aye, we need a left back, and I would hope maybe if we're going to get a left back, we're maybe going to look for somebody other than down south. Maybe open up the whole globe and spin it round and actually see that there's other countries rather than England that we can sign players for. Because we've seen before, you can get gems everywhere. The Scandinavian countries, you can get a lot of good players coming from over there.
Is that a worry for you, Al, the amount of players that we're signing for England?
Yes, it is for me personally. I know a lot of people won't agree with it, but you need to have certain mentalities to play for bigger teams and lower players that are coming from England with lower league teams. I mean, there's Gassama. He came in. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's saying Gassama's going to be absolutely brilliant, but he could. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not being negative, but he could just be downhill for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm just being negative about it. I mean, it could be a one-hit wonder, but I don't think he is. But I just don't like the whole fact that there's a massive world out there and we just seem to be going for players down south all the time, because it doesn't always work. I mean, look at Dowell, look at Davies. They've come from down south and they've just not done it. The actual amount of players that have probably signed for down south who've turned out to be really good players is probably not a lot of them. I mean, I'm talking about in recent years, and for spending a lot of money on these guys, I just think, I know, Lyndon, it was negative, but I wasn't being negative. I was just being negative to show that's.
I'll get you to say something positive one day, Alan. Don't you?
I have been saying things positive. I think there was a lot of positives for the new players that came in. Obviously, the main positive for me was Finlay Cutters. For me personally, being a Scotsman, I love seeing a young Scottish player in a Rangers jersey playing well. That's the main thing for me. I would, as you said before as well, Martin, I would love a team full of 1 to 11 Scotsmen in the Rangers team. I think that is what we do. People give John Souttar a hard time. I like John Souttar. Is it probably just being a wee bit biased because he's Scottish as well? But I think for me personally, we're lumping a lot on John Souttar when we're playing him in defence, because he's coming out of defence and nobody else is really taking that responsibility either. So he had a hell of a lot of the ball, I noticed, on Tuesday. John Souttar.
Do you know you're saying that? I'm sure I read a stat, and I'm sure if I'm wrong on this, somebody in the comments will go right through me. He had almost as many passes as the whole Panathinaikos team.
Yeah, I know. I was actually thinking that during the first half. I was actually thinking, I wonder how many touches of the ball John Souttar's actually had. I mean, he was the most prominent person in our team in that first half to actually have the ball. And that's not something I like. See, in football, I don't want centre-halves running about with the ball. I want my midfielders to get the ball, and I want my midfielders to pass it to the midfielders and pass it to wingers, and you give the ball to the wingers, and the wingers take people on. That's obviously just the way Russell Martin's going to play his formations and things like that. But I didn't see, what's his name, the Jiga, coming out with the ball much. It was all on John Souttar. And I know, I mean, there's 113 passes. See, for me, that for a centre half, that is a lot, but it's too high. That's the type of things that Modric should be doing.
Get used to it.
You know what I mean?
Get used to it.
I know.
You need to get used to it.
But it seems to be we're bypassing the midfield a lot. That's the whole point as well with the thing. I don't know. Do you
not think though it was the first game?
Yeah.
It's the first competitive game. Once the players start to get to know Martin's tactics better, his formations better, and once the new players gel with the players who were there, and the players who were there learn the system, it could come good. It could come good.
But if you're Russell Martin, are you telling John Souttar to come out with the ball so much? I mean, he should really be getting hit. That's what I mean. No, but he should really be getting some help for his defensive colleague. You know what I mean? He should be getting some help by the guy that's next to him coming out with the ball as well. But no, I thought John Souttar played well on Tuesday. I know everybody comes out, he's a Seeds player, blah blah blah. I think overall he's a good defender, but we all know he's prone to some hiccups as well. But
every player is.
I know, and for what he was getting put on in the first half, Souttar, he had a tremendous amount of the ball. You know what I mean? It was continuously having the ball. But as I said, for me personally, that should be a midfield. The midfield should be taking more of the ball. It's different if the defender's getting the ball and pinging it straight up to a striker, then we're scoring like that. But we'll just need to see how the formation goes. I wasn't overly impressed, to be honest, in the first half. Obviously, the second half we were a lot better. Obviously, the goal that Aaron's set up and right back, I think that's how we should be playing, just quick pass and moving. But you can only do it if you've got something up front that you can actually hit. Because Danilo was a bit. I think Danilo needs somebody else up front of him, didn't he? He just looks lost when he's up there on his own.
A lot of people, Alan, have been saying that Danilo was very isolated.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He needs somebody to play off of. Danilo, he needs somebody to run about off of. And when he's on his own, he's not got that. So I'm not going to write him off too much, because hopefully this is going to be his first proper pre-season we're going to actually have him. But we can only wait and see. I mean, if he's not going to score the goals, he's going to get dropped, and he's going to get Dessers back in, or he's going to get Egeman in his place. So he needs to pull his socks up.
Well, obviously, we've got the game coming up on Wednesday, right? The second leg. But before that, obviously, we've got Middlesbrough on Saturday. How much are you looking forward to that? And do you expect many changes from the team on Tuesday? Or do you think Martin's thinking might be, well, if I play something close to the team I'm going to play on Wednesday, it'll help with the cohesion, etc., etc.? Or do you expect Cortez to get some game time? Maybe even Fernandez to come in at the back and get some game time, maybe Egeman or Dessers starting. Do you think he'll make many changes?
See with this one, right? See pre-seasons and the way our pre-seasons have been going. Obviously, it's not been the best preparation, but especially playing under in crowds. But I don't know. See, for me, everybody says pre-season's about getting minutes in the legs. But if we're going to play a second string against Middlesbrough, the players that were actually wanting to play on Wednesday, they're not going to get the minutes in the legs, are they? So it's like it's a 50-50, it's a gamble. I think he should probably play maybe 70% of the team that he does want to feature against Panathinaikos, and then maybe give guys like, as you said, Cortez. I would be giving Cameron a wee shot as well. I don't know if Asgard is going to be fit enough, but I think if Asgard is going to be fit to play on Wednesday, I think he would need at least maybe half an hour against Middlesbrough to get some game time. But friendlies are funny. I know a lot of people don't put any sort of hope into friendlies, but for me personally, I like Rangers to win all the time. You know what I mean? I just like to see Rangers winning. And people can turn around and say, "Oh, it's only a friendly," but nobody wants to see your team getting humped 5-0 at a friendly, do they? So
no,
friendlies do count, don't they? That's the thing. I know it is about getting minutes in the legs, but for me personally, we've not played enough games at this moment in time to actually get a lot of players up to speed for the game. I mean, Tuesday was a bit of a breakneck speed to actually sign players and put them in the actual team, and it's a massive European tie. I mean, let's not forget that this isn't just we're playing a wee Diddy team that nobody's heard about in the Champions League qualifier. I mean, Panathinaikos are a big name player in Europe, and we obviously
first time we've beat them.
I know, I've heard everybody saying that. I know, so that is a good thing. But I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. But I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, there's Andrew Hunter saying I wouldn't want anybody to get injured as well. But it's like you can't not play players just because they might get injured. But I don't want them getting injured either. But
they need the minutes. They need the minutes.
I know exactly. They need the minutes in their legs. That's the whole point. If it was me, I would probably play, as I said, 70% of the team that's going to play against Panathinaikos. But I probably don't know if it will. We really need to be giving Cortez a run in the team. I mean, I would actually just stick him at right wing. I don't know if that's his natural position. I think he's more a left winger, but I think he needs to give him at least 60 minutes on that right wing, because Dowell's not going to do it, is he? Even Kieran Dowell playing on right wing against Middlesbrough, that's not going to do anybody any favours. It's not going to give Dowell any, because he's not going to get any better. But I put Cortez in. I mean, you never know. Might put Cortez on the right and he might actually play pretty decent. Never know. We'll know till Saturday.
No, and it does seem as though, and I mean, it might just be the case that he's trying to get him sold, or he actually does like him. But it seems, I'm guessing he likes Dowell because he's played in the majority of the pre-season games, the behind closed doors games. He's played them a lot.
Yeah, there's something about Dowell, isn't it? I mean, it could be that maybe Russell Martin, for playing down south and for Kieran Dowell being down south, maybe he's always looked at him and thought he's a good player. And everybody, I've heard people saying Dowell's a good trainer or something like that. But that's the whole point. You can be a good trainer and you can be crap in the game, or you can be a bad trainer and you can be brilliant in the games. So I would rather have somebody who was a crap trainer and good in the games and vice versa. You know what I mean? But Kieran Dowell, I really don't understand it. I can't fathom that one, because is this his third season? Is it his second season? I can't mind. It seems as if he's been here forever. You know, it seems as if he's been here forever, doesn't it?
Aye, it's his third season, because last season he was away to Birmingham, the season before it. Yeah, third season.
Yeah, because I know he's. I mean, you can't turn around and say. I mean, you never know. Maybe if he played Kieran Dowell in central midfield for 10 games, he could be absolutely brilliant. But who would you take out for that? You're not going to take anybody out the team and put Kieran down in the middle. And it seems to me he's just getting sandwiched into the right hand side to actually give the guy some game time. As you say, they might be putting him in the shop window, but if he played well down at Birmingham, you would think, well, I did say that. I know he's never the run of games, but as I said 2 minutes ago, you're not going to drop anybody for Kieran Dow to give him a run in the team. We can't afford that. As the club that we are, we can't just turn around and say we're going to give a player 10 games and see how he performs, because that's just not how it's going to work.
Well, as Blue Jays saying, Martin said Dow played great on Tuesday night. He's either trying to get his confidence up or he knows he's not playing as soon as Asgard comes in. So we'll need to wait and see on that one. But Big Brian has been a member. I'm sure he's been a member for longer than 9 months. But it says there 9 months. Like and subscribe. Yes, folks, please do. Like and subscribe on the old YouTube and share on Facebook and Twitter and like on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff as well. Every little helps, as Alan says. No, we're not sponsored by Tesco, but every little does help. And Brian, mate, I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're recovering okay and everything's going all right, my friend. But you've been a massive supporter of the channel as well, so thank you very much, my friend. And like I say, I hope you're doing well. Derek, mate, I need you back on the pod as soon as humanly possible, my friend. Speak to Wally Urban if you've not got my number, mate, and get you back on the pod. Even though you got the day wrong, I know you cheat. I know you put Wednesday later on down in the comments, right? So I'll let you away with the Tuesday bit. But you can get injured at training, play your strongest team for 45, 60 to help form relationships before Tuesday, then change to the boys you might need to bring on or won't feature on Wednesday. I think that's spot on, Al.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty much what you said.
Yeah, I'm sure he put that. I'm sure Derek put that comment up after I said what I said.
No, Derek's much smarter than you, Alan. Sorry.
Is he? Aye. Well,
yes.
me and Derek will need to have a wee chat then, a wee pub quiz or something. I'm kidding on. No, aye, but it's exciting. I mean, it is exciting times. I mean, I don't think the team that started on Tuesday will be the team that we will probably be going forward. I would hope quite a lot of the players might not be there, and we would need to get a couple, at least a left back. I think that's a priority. I think for me, I don't want to be seen linked with midfielders and all these type of things. I really want us to be seen linked with some decent quality left backs. I think that's what we really need. I've as everybody knows, I don't watch a lot of football down south, but my pal does. He said he's seen it. Aaron seems to be quite a competent right back, but this is just the scenario that we see every season, isn't it? It's like James Tavernier's going to be playing limited games, but now we're shoehorning a good right back. I know people say, "Oh, he can play left or right back." See, for me, that's a load of pish. You can't be a competent left or right back. You can't if you're naturally right-footed, you're not going to be as good as playing on the left-hand side as you're on the right-hand side. You're always naturally going to want to come into the pitch if you're a right-sided, right-footed player on the left back. So you really need to we really do need to have a new left back. Well, obviously, Jeff, Yilmaz will go, but maybe if we do sign a proper left back, what's going to happen with Aarons? Is he going to take over?
He's starting this season regardless.
Martin, we all thought that when he signed. I've been an advocate. We'll say that instead of advocate. Maybe we'll just say that. Obviously, we say devil's dick advocate. We'll just say I'm going to be an advocate now for this. I would have moved Tav up for the right side of the midfield years ago. I would have done it. I just don't think defending's his number one priority. Defending's not the one thing that he's actually particularly good at. So I think you should put Aarons at the right. And if we've not, and put it this way, put Aarons at the right, put Tav at right midfield instead of blooming Kieran Dowell once we get a left back in and see how that goes. But aye, it's just another season we're going to have Tav at right back, I think, isn't it?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. If we get a left back in, I think Tav's going to be rotational. I really do think he's going to be rotational. If we don't get a left back in, then I'm with you. My fear would be that Aarons, or as people call him, Aarons. I thought
Aarons. I know they call him Aarons, and I know it looks like Aarons. If somebody's called Aaron, they're called Aaron. But
then I think he plays left back if we don't get one in.
but we need to get a left back in. I mean, I can't, as a fan, turn round and go on Aidan's back too much for playing at left back, because that's not his natural position for me. That's not where he should be playing. But if you're a player and you're Aidan's, and he's obviously going to be on a decent wage. Obviously, we've not signed him, but if you loan a player out, you're not going to want him sitting on the bench every second game to play second fiddle to Tav. You know what I mean? For me personally, if I sign for a team, I don't want to be rotated. I want to be a first team regular all the time. I don't want Russell Martin saying to me, "You're playing this game and Tav's playing the next game." You know what I mean? It's like, well, how am I meant to get up at any sort of level of consistency? It's just not going to work.
Have you seen that sketch, Aaron, the substitute teacher?
What's that?
Key and Peele, I think it's called. Key and Peele. It's an American comedy.
Oh, the Jordan Peele, the director.
No, you're
well. Black guys, no. Is this different?
No, yeah, that's Key and Peele. Key and Peele, yeah.
Aye, Jordan Peele. Aye, he's the director.
I didn't know his first name was Jordan.
Come on, Martin. No, he's
I've just seen the sketches.
I've seen the one. I like the one he's doing the sweat. Now he's doing the sweat joke, and the sweat's peeling off, and that's the one.
I keep forgetting you're a movie buff, because I haven't seen a movie review show for a while, Alan.
Oh, do you know what? I've not seen a movie review show for a wee while as well, Martin. What's happening with that?
I don't know. It's not me that runs it. But folks, listen, that will do us for today. For the members, and by the way, if you want to help out the channel by becoming a member, then links are in the description. YouTube memberships, everything's live. And the Patreon stuff, there's some live stuff, but most of it is audio. And it's uploaded after the shows have been live on YouTube. It really, really helps. All the likes and subscribes and stuff like that, and the memberships as well. And for the members tonight, we've got a double live tonight. 7 p.m. will be your live midweek members show. Obviously, that's normally on a Tuesday, but because Rangers are playing on Tuesday, we've had to move it to the Thursday. So that's at 7 o'clock. And then at 8:30 tonight, for CEO tier and above, is Rabble Wrestling with your very own Hamish and Connor. So plenty of content tonight for the members. So that's like 4 shows in one day. That's a ridiculous amount of content. Ridiculous amount of content. No, London, I won't be on time, and you won't get to see it, London, because you're not a member. You're not a member, London. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's many things I could say about Lyndon, but apparently he's taller than me, so I'm not going to.
Well, that's no hard to
he's a big guy. Listen, folks, go and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I say, whatever you're watching on, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please share it with everybody that you know. All the help and support is greatly appreciated. Alan, thank you very much, my friend. It's good having you back on.
Yep, good to be back on. Hope everybody's a good afternoon, and I will see you later.
You've not missed the vegan jokes, have you?
Just ignoring them. There was a good one. But I'm not even going to. I'm not going to.
It was great. It was great. Is that you? Was that a bit cutting the grass? Was it?
No, it was some. I can't mind. I don't know if it was that fucking prick London. He said V something. V's G ALAN. So I thought that was a good one.
Right, folks, go and enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll speak very, very soon.